Welcome to our deep dive into AI. If you're listening, you're probably as curious as I am about where this whole AI thing is going.
Absolutely.
We've got two really interesting articles here.
Huh?
One's called Decoding AI, and it's kind of a timeline of AI, how it got here and where it might be going. It's from Gens AI, and the other one is from Built In, and it's called The Future of AI, How AI Will Change the World.
Okay.
And then, to throw a little mystery into the mix, we also have this ebook,
Okay.
and it's just called The Future of AI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no author, no nothing, just The Future of AI.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see what that's all about.
Yeah.
But before we even get into all that, I think it's pretty amazing that like way back in 1952, there was already a checkers program that could learn from experience.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's incredible. Like the great-great-grandfather of all the AI we see today.
Right. It really shows you how this whole AI thing has been brewing for a long time. Yeah, totally. So maybe we should start by like just defining what AI actually is.
Yeah, good point.
What does it actually mean when we say artificial intelligence?
Well, the article from Jenny AI, the Decoding AI article, it defines it as simulating human intelligence in machines, which is a pretty broad concept.
Yeah.
You know, it covers things like problem solving, learning, understanding and responding to language.
So it's not just like robots doing cool tricks.
Right.
It's about them actually thinking.
Exactly. Yeah. Like giving them the ability to learn and adapt, which is a core part of what makes us human.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Even before AI was like a formal field of study, people were already obsessed with the idea of thinking machines.
Yeah, totally.
It's such a fascinating concept.
Remember that play, Rossum's Universal Robots?
Oh, yeah.
From like the 1920s is where we got the word robot from, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Wild, right?
And they were already exploring these themes then, before the technology even existed. Exactly, yeah. It's pretty amazing how much early science fiction, like, predicted or influenced the development of AI.
Yeah.
And speaking of predictions, we can't forget about the Turing test.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, can a machine actually hold a conversation that's so convincing you'd think you were talking to a real person?
Right. That was Alan Turing's idea. He was a brilliant mathematician, you know?
Yeah.
And he came up with this test in the 1950s as a way to kind of measure if a machine could really be considered intelligent.
So if I was talking to someone behind a curtain and I couldn't tell if it was a person or a computer, that would mean the computer passed the test.
Exactly.
Wow.
It really got people thinking about what it means to be intelligent.
Yeah. Well, like, what even is intelligence anyway?
Right.
So what were some of those early AI programs that like really tried to pass that test?
Well, there were a bunch of fascinating ones. Like in 1955, there was this program called the Logic Theorist,
Okay.
and it could actually prove mathematical theorems.
No way.
Yeah. It showed that machines could actually reason logically.
Wow. So they weren't just like following instructions, they were like actually thinking through problems.
Exactly.
So what came after that?
Well, a couple years later, they came up with the general problem solver.
Okay.
And this one tried to go even further and like mimic actual human problem solving strategies. It tackled a wider range of problems, not just mathematical ones.
But they were getting more and more complex.
Yeah.
But I bet you there's one program from that era that our listeners might find really surprising.
Oh, you're probably thinking of ELIZA.
Yeah. Eliza,
It's from 1966.
a program from 1966 that could hold conversations.
Yeah, simple ones at least.
That's crazy. So like, what could it actually do?
Well, it was designed to simulate like a Rogerian psychotherapist.
Right.
So it used these pattern matching techniques to respond to what you typed in a way that felt conversational.
A therapy chatbot in 1966.
Yeah. Pretty wild, right?
That is wild. I had no idea the roots of like conversational AI went back that far.
It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, think about Siri and Alexa and all the chatbots we have now. They're all kind of building on what Eliza started.
It's crazy to think how far AI has come from those early days.
Totally.
But how did we get from like proving theorems and having simple conversations to all the complex AI we have now?
That's a great question. The articles we're looking at today point to a few really important areas.
Okay, so what are they?
Well, one of the biggest game changers has been machine learning, and then there's its more complex offspring, deep learning.
Okay, so what exactly are machine learning and deep learning? And how are they different from those early AI programs?
Well, imagine a machine that could learn from data without you having to program it for every single possibility.
Okay.
That's the basic idea behind machine learning. It's like teaching a computer to learn from experience. just like we do.
So you're not telling it exactly what to do, but you're giving it the tools and the data it needs to learn and adapt on its own.
Exactly. And then deep learning takes that idea and adds like multiple layers of processing. Okay. Each layer builds on what the previous one learned. So it can tackle incredibly complex tasks like image recognition, natural language processing, you name it.
So deep learning is behind some of the really impressive stuff we see today.
Exactly.
Like self-driving cars and personalized recommendations.
Think about it. Facial recognition on your phone, spam filters keeping your inbox clean, all thanks to deep learning.
Wow. So what about the other key areas you mentioned? What else has shaped AI?
Oh, another big one is natural language processing, NLP. This field is all about helping machines understand and interact with human language.
Okay.
That's how we can talk to our smartphones, get instant translations, and even figure out like the sentiment behind a tweet.
So NLP is basically what makes it possible to have a natural conversation with a machine.
Exactly. It's gotten so advanced.
Wow. So AI is really impacting almost every part of our lives.
Oh, absolutely. And it's only going to get more influential. The articles we're looking at actually go pretty deep into how AI is transforming different industries.
Okay, so let's get into that. What are some of the most interesting ways AI is being used right now?
Well, that's a great question, and one we'll explore in more detail as we go on. But for now, let me give you a sneak peek into some of the areas where AI is already making waves.
Sounds good. Let's take a quick break and then dive into the real-world impact of AI in part 2.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were just starting to talk about some real-world examples of AI in action. It's pretty amazing to think that AI is not just science fiction anymore. It's actually reshaping all kinds of industries.
Totally. So where do you want to start? What are some of the places where AI is making the biggest impact?
Well, healthcare is definitely a big one. It's really changing how we diagnose diseases, personalize treatments, and even discover new drugs.
So, like, are we talking robot doctors here or something? How is AI actually being used to help patients?
Not robot doctors yet, but AI is helping human doctors in some pretty incredible ways. Like, imagine a system that can analyze medical images, like X-rays and MRIs. And it can spot tiny things that a human doctor might miss. That can lead to earlier diagnoses, which obviously is huge for patients.
That's amazing. So it's like AI is working as a tool to make doctors even better at what they do, not replace them entirely.
Exactly. It's about enhancing human intelligence, not getting rid of it. Another cool area is personalized medicine. AI can look at tons of data about a patient, their genes, lifestyle, medical history, all that stuff, and then help tailor treatments that are specifically designed for them.
So it's like having a medical expert who knows everything about you and can create a treatment plan just for you. That's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. And it can also help speed up drug discovery. Imagine AI sifting through millions of potential drug candidates to find the ones that are most promising.
That would be huge for developing treatments for things like cancer and Alzheimer's. It sounds like AI is really revolutionizing healthcare in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
Definitely. And it's not just healthcare either. Finance is another area where AI is having a massive impact. Think about all those complex financial transactions, market predictions, and risk assessment.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling how much data is involved in the world of finance.
Exactly. AI can help make those processes way more efficient and accurate.
Can you give me an example of how it's actually being used?
Sure. Take fraud detection, for instance. AI can analyze spending patterns in real time, looking for anything suspicious that might indicate fraud. It's like having a super smart security guard for your money.
That's a great analogy.
And it's not just security. AI can also help people make better investment decisions. It can offer personalized financial advice based on your specific situation and goals.
So AI is bringing a whole new level of intelligence and automation to finance. What about transportation? I know self-driving cars are a big thing, but are there other ways AI is changing how we get around?
Oh yeah, self-driving cars are definitely getting a lot of attention. But AI is also being used to improve traffic flow, make public transportation more efficient, and even predict transportation needs.
So it's not just about automating vehicles, but making transportation systems smarter as a whole.
Right. Imagine a city where the traffic lights adjust themselves in real time based on traffic patterns. Or think about public transportation systems that can predict demand and optimize routes.
Wow, that sounds like a much smoother commute. It's exciting to see how AI can be used to solve real-world problems like that.
Definitely. But while the potential benefits of AI are huge, we also need to talk about the potential downsides. It's not all sunshine and roses.
You're right. We can't ignore the potential risks that come with such a powerful technology. What are some of the concerns people have about AI?
Well, one of the biggest worries is job displacement. As AI gets more sophisticated, it can automate more and more jobs that humans currently do. There's a lot of fear that robots are going to take over.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Is that something we should be seriously worried about?
It's definitely a valid concern. The built-in article we mentioned earlier actually predicts that between now and 2028, AI is going to disrupt a lot of the skills people need for their jobs.
So it's not just about jobs disappearing altogether, but about needing to adapt and learn new skills.
Exactly. Think of it like any big technological revolution. When cars were invented, it changed everything about transportation. Some jobs disappeared, but a whole bunch of new ones were created.
So we need to make sure people are prepared for these changes and have the training they need to thrive in this new world.
Exactly. Education and retraining are going to be crucial. We got to help people develop the skills they'll need for the jobs of the future.
So it's about being proactive and shaping the future of work, not just reacting to it. What about other concerns? Are there any other risks associated with AI?
Well, another big one is the potential for misuse. AI is a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. We have to be careful to make sure it's developed and used responsibly.
You're talking about the possibility of AI being used for harmful purposes.
Exactly. It's up to us as a society to make sure AI is used ethically and in a way that benefits everyone.
That sounds like a pretty big responsibility. How can we make sure that happens?
One important step is to develop clear ethical guidelines for AI.
Okay.
They should cover things like privacy, bias, transparency, and accountability.
So it's about setting boundaries and making sure that AI reflects our values as a society.
Exactly. AI systems need to be fair, unbiased, and accountable. And that's going to require a lot of collaboration between policymakers, tech people, ethicists, and the public.
It's a reminder that the future of AI isn't something that should be decided by a small group of people. It affects all of us, so we all need to have a say.
Absolutely. The choices we make today will determine what kind of future we create with AI. It has the potential to solve some of our biggest problems, but it also demands our careful attention and responsible guidance.
All of this is a lot to process. It's exciting to see how AI is changing things, but it's also a little overwhelming to think about all the challenges.
I get it. It's a lot to take in. But remember, we're not alone in figuring this out. There are brilliant people all over the world working on these issues, and together we can make sure AI is used for good.
That's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
It's great to know that we can all play a role in shaping the future of AI. Speaking of the future, remember that mysterious ebook we talked about earlier, The Future of AI? We've been focusing on the articles, but I'm curious to see what this ebook has to say.
Yeah, let's crack it open and see what we find. It might give us a fresh perspective on where AI is headed.
Okay, so we're finally cracking open this mysterious ebook, The Future of AI. No author, no fancy cover, just that simple title. It's like it's inviting us to imagine all the possibilities.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a blank canvas, you know?
Yeah.
Like we can paint our hopes and fears about what AI might bring.
Exactly. So what does this ebook actually say about the future of AI? Does it give us any specific predictions? Like, is it could be robots everywhere by 2050?
Well, it's interesting. It doesn't really focus on specific dates or predictions. It takes more of a big picture approach, you know, exploring like broad trends and potential scenarios.
Okay, so what are some of those broad trends?
Well, one of the main ideas is that AI is going to become so integrated into our lives that we won't even really notice it anymore. It'll be like electricity or the internet. It's not just going to be about specific devices or apps, but about AI just being kind of woven into the fabric of everything.
So instead of picturing robots taking over, we should be thinking about AI as this kind of invisible force that's shaping our experiences in subtle ways.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, think about smart homes that anticipate your needs, or education systems that adapt to each student's learning style, or healthcare that can predict health issues before they even happen.
Wow, those are some pretty amazing possibilities. It sounds like AI could really make our lives easier and better in so many ways.
Absolutely. But the ebook also acknowledges that there are potential downsides, too. It's not all going to be perfect. Like, remember those concerns we talked about earlier about job displacement, bias, and privacy?
Yeah, those are definitely big issues that we need to address.
Right. The ebook really stresses the importance of being thoughtful and proactive about how we develop and use AI. We can't just blindly embrace the technology without thinking about the consequences.
So it's not just about developing AI, it's about developing it responsibly.
Exactly. And that means having open and honest conversations about the ethics of AI and making sure it aligns with our values as a society.
And who needs to be part of those conversations?
Everyone. Policymakers, ethicists, scientists, business leaders, and most importantly, everyday people. We all have a stake in this, and we all need to have a voice in shaping the future of AI.
So we've explored these three sources, two really interesting articles, and this thought-provoking ebook. And they've all given us a lot to think about. What's the one big takeaway that our listeners should remember from this deep dive?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're creating right now with every choice we make. Whether AI becomes a force for good or for bad depends on us, on our collective wisdom and our willingness to engage in open and honest conversations about its potential and its risks.
It's been an amazing journey exploring the world of AI, from its early days to the incredible things it's doing today and the even more incredible things it might do in the future. But as always, there's still so much more to learn and discuss.
Absolutely. AI is constantly evolving, and the conversation about its role in society is just beginning.
So to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of AI. And most importantly, think about how you want to contribute to shaping its future. What kind of world do you want to create with this powerful technology? The answers to those questions are up to all of us. Until next time.